Good morning, y'all. It is a nice Sunday morning. We have a lot to get done today, including getting our ballots over to the next town to get mailed off properly, and D&D later, so it is going to be one of them days. I hope that you've had a good week. I know some of you were concerned about me, but as I said on my live, and to anybody that listen, I'm good. Because at the end of the day, these people just want riling, and I have way too much going on. Like I said, I am excited, y'all. With the launch coming so close to the holidays too, I will have a second book out. I will have a full webcomic launch, and I will be working on other projects, both collaborative and just on my own writing wise, that I'm excited about. And I think too many people really do think that what happened this weekend is going to make me argue with somebody that I still don't even understand, but I'm going to let it go. There's no permanence in my life. I'm fucking Gen X. I learned long ago that people are going to come and go in your life, and no matter what, the ones who want to be around will be around. And the thing is, with my age, as many friends as I lost over the last few years to COVID and everything else, I just don't let myself get in my feels about associations that end. Because right now, with still being here, with knowing that I was luckily enough to dodge the sickness bullet, unlike some people, I'm just going to cherish the blessings that I have in my life, because that's what I have. I also sit back and I observe a lot, including patterns. And when I say the patterns of using people to attack others, the patterns of smiling in each other's face when you really don't care for each other, I don't do stuff like that, so I'm not going to engage. If I have a problem with anybody, they know. That's it. That's how you have to be if you want to work with anybody with any forms of neurodivergence, anybody who has actual diagnosed mental health issues. I like straightforward people. I like honestly blunt people. I gravitate to that. I don't judge people for what they did before I met them. I let them show me who the fuck they are. And plenty of people on this app have shown me exactly who they are. And whether everybody else likes them or some people think they're this or that, as long as I'm cool with them, that's between me and them. And if I'm not cool with them, that's between me and that person. It don't have to keep devolving into this. I know some people get their fun out of causing these kind of fractures and frictions, but I don't know any content creator on a personal level. So if I stop talking to people, if I stop associating, or they don't with me, that's all that is. It is not a license to come into our chats, trying to bring stuff up, trying to stoke fires, because this is y'all's personal soap opera. Most of us just want to talk about Chantal, Amberlynn, Glitter and Lasers, or any other of these girl world people who do the same thing over and over and get no change. And I know I've seen enough over this weekend to know that these people, whether or not they know it's not true. They know none of the shit they said about me is true, but they're gonna needle. And when you do what they want, which is say their name, get into a back and forth, let them scream. My chats are fun. At least I think though. I try to keep it lighthearted, even when I'm talking about the shit that I'm covering in regards to Chantal. I want people leaving smiling. That's why we do the music palette cleanse. That's why we cut away to other more interesting stuff, whether it's animation or art or any of that fun shit. Because nobody should leave just angry at watching somebody throw their lives away. You got a lot of people out here that it is more fun for them to have content creators fighting. And just saying nasty shit about people's personal life. And I'm going to say it again. I don't know content creators on a personal level. I don't really want to. And that might be construed as selfish. I don't care. I don't want to know where they live. I don't want to know their names. I don't want to know their family names. That shit is a level of sickness that I don't understand. And when you have these people going this deep to try to get at me, I even had to block somebody on Twitter today who is literally trying to stoke a fight between me and another content creator that I've already stated point blankly. While I was hurt, I don't feel any animosity, so I'm not going to do any of this bullshit that y'all are trying to push us into. This shit has to stop. Y'all go in real life with people you are never ever going to meet. Never ever going to know. Because somebody said something about you on the internet. And because the something might have hit the nail on the head, this is going to be the constant? No. No. And that's what I mean about control. I don't have a lot of memories of my younger years. I'm not like Chantal. I can't total recall the first snack I ever had. But I remember in high school not wanting to be a part of any factions, or cliques, point blank. Because when you declare allegiance to a group or a person, you end up doing stuff that you might not have originally agreed to want to do. I do not understand the mentality of running around doing the dirty work of people who, at the end of the day, they can wave their hands and be like, I didn't push them into doing this. And it's just crazy. The amount of energy that some of these adults are giving to trying to chase people off a platform that they don't own. A lot of them have no stake in this game except they're bitter and just mean people. And like I said, I am very chaotic neutral, so it takes a lot more for me to want to even get involved in shit, and I've already made enough missteps. I've had content creators open my eyes to the fact that the best I can do in any situation where somebody's trying to start a beef with me is to not join panels that are about them, not freaking make my channel about them, which I've really worked hard on Saturday to not, even though people, of course, were coming in not only with the lies, but were trying to get me to talk shit about somebody that I don't, like I said, I was blindsided, I was hurt, but at the end of the day, I always figure that any associations I make on YouTube are on a temporary basis. That is just the way it is in life. Nothing stays the same. Changes happen. You just gotta decide whether or not you want to be one of those people that go in real life with somebody you don't fucking know. This YouTube stuff, if it was just a back and forth of insults, that would be hilarious to me. I have sat through so many fun beefs between rappers, celebrities, creators, even fucking politicians getting a dunk. Mark Cuban's fucking ethered Mayuri Taylor Greene yesterday when she was going on about how the control of the weather, right? And he said, just because you have somebody yelling, make it rain at you at the club, doesn't mean we have weather control of capabilities. And like I said, when you've got that level burns going on, it is fun to watch, it is fun to laugh at, but that's not what these people want. They don't want back and forth where we're just insulting obvious shit. They want to go in real life to a person who doesn't fuck with them, doesn't talk about them, and still won't. I just don't get it. It's not fun. I don't think most people find this shit fun. They're starting to see that's disturbing on levels that don't make any sense. I can see if I was even remotely knowing anything about any of the people involved. I don't. I still don't want to. And that is to gently tell anybody who tries to bring me information, please don't. I don't have the energy or the time I wish I did sometimes, because some of these people went so far out of pocket, not even with me, that it is on the line, if not completely crossing the line of harassment. Digging up people's backgrounds like this has to fucking stop somewhere. It is not funny. It is not fun. It feels very unhinged. There are people getting caught up in the crossfire that don't deserve any of this. People are being told who they can like, where they can like, and if you associate with this person, you gotta assume a bunch of shit about them. These people are content creators. They're gonna have people that watch their content. One of the things, and I dare anybody to say to me, or pull a clip where I've told anybody, even the people that I've openly declared I don't like, not to watch them. I dare you to find one motherfucking clip. I have always said, whenever I feel something about a content creator or what they put out there, that's between me and that person. That is not for me to fuck with them subscriber-wise. This is not for me to say anything to them directly after that, because once I'm done with a person, I'm done. It is called the door slam for those of you who are introverts. For those of you who understand that once I feel that I can no longer be dealing with a person, that door closes, it doesn't open again. And that is just how stubborn I can be on this shit. I do not want to give the limited time and energy that I have each day to this literal high school level back and forth. But with us taking our ballots into the next town over, this is going to be my son's first time voting for a president. And the way his eyes lit up, filling everything out, checking things over, this is what it's all about. Watching my kid grow into this responsible adult, watching him take shit seriously like this, I'm just happy. And I feel like I'd rather radiate the happy energy of having shit together, doing fun stuff, working on a career path that I used to never think I was capable of. And I know I am doing a lot better than even the first book launch, because I've had a lot more polish, a lot more practice, world building skills, and a whole team of people who want to see this story succeed. I think in the long run, when you do have happiness, when you do have people who, they don't give a fuck about this YouTube stuff, they really don't, you can let anything negative, anything abhorrent being said about you slide, because that's all they do. They've done it to several people. People I like, people I don't really know, and people I don't care for. Everybody in this circle of Girl World has been singled out. And I guess now it's my turn. But the only thing that I can do is, like so many others that I respect on here, is to just keep it pushing. Because like I said, life is too short and nothing's promised. One of the things I worked on this weekend, and I still have to modify it, was the dedication page for the second book, because there are people that we lost over the years, and it fucking sucks, but I wanted to honor them. There are friends that not only inspired characters in this newest story, but really kept me going when the self-doubt started to play, because it did take a full 2 years to really get the story the way I wanted. I did not want things not to make sense. I wanted to make sure I linked up to the first novel in a way that explains a lot of stuff that I had to leave open, because I didn't want the first book to go over the pages that it already was. So when I say that there are going to be times, especially during the launch, that I'm around a little bit less, this is not a slight. This is not to say that I don't care. Half the time I was trying to at least run people's stuff on the computer while I'm out of the house and whatnot. But I need to realize that at the end of the day, this YouTube stuff is just a side fun project for me. And I don't need to take it that serious. There is a lot going on. And I can't stop getting joyful about it because it really helped validate that it wasn't a one note. It wasn't a fluke. When Roger's finished with the cover art, we are going to have book 2 completed without having to go back and make changes. We already have the edited version of book 1 that we are going to fix up with a new cover, and that'll be the final edition of that axiom, thus making anybody with the white cover, which was the first launch, which I completely rushed that, and that was totally my fault, and anybody with the initial green covers, those are collectibles now. And I don't say that to brag, it wasn't the intention, but that was me pushing because the world was fucking burning around us. And I did not want to go out of this world without at least attempting to get written work finished and published. So now with the second book, which is a variation of my baby sister's name, and just being able to say I finished it on Grandma's birthday, even though I wanted to launch it on Grandma's birthday, I did not want to make the same mistakes. We are, because of the set of eyes we have on the story, catching errors, fixing errors. We have an amazing artist who is going to draw out the idea that I had using some of the images that I sent him. We have a team this time, and it feels so much different than the first time. And what I wanted to tell people, if you write, even if you don't think that your writing is good enough, even if you think nobody will want to read it, as long as you can read your stuff back, as long as you get any sense of what you're putting out there, you'll find your audience for it. Too many of us creative types get in our heads about whether we're good enough to do what we do. And we have to stop being our own worst enemy with it. We have to let what our brains tell us to put out there just do its thing. You would be surprised how once you start to chip away at that big rock of insecurity and self-doubt, how easier it is to just focus on what you're creating, whether it's a lovely art piece, whether it's music, whether it's lyrics, whether it's poetry, or whether it's a full novel, webcomic. There are so many amazing art forms. Hell, even those of you who create in the kitchen, you are using your mind in ways a lot of people will find interesting. So you got to start working on that self-doubt. You got to start saying, you know what, I know. I know that I feel like nobody's going to want to see this. I know that I feel like I shouldn't be doing this. But you were given that talent for a reason. You were given the ability to do this for a reason, and you need to take it. Now, another thing that I wanted to touch on from Saturday is what I said about addiction. Because I really did get heated, and my head wasn't in the game. I am honest about that. I don't need to hide any sides of myself. My head was not in the fucking game on Saturday. I tried to hold it together because, honestly, it does rattle you when people attack for no reason. I've never given any of these people reason except for who I associate with. But with Chantal's real sickness, to the point where she doesn't even get, she's literally telling the world that the first thing that she thinks of when she gets up in the morning is what she's going to eat. And all day, her brain has food noise, her words. And when we tell her, you have to get help for this. This is not a laughing matter. Mocking her for her antics or shitting herself and all her nasty is one thing. But when you literally hear this woman saying that she can't deal without food, it is her whole being at this point. And knowing that there are professionals out there that can really work with her, get her into something else that she can focus on. And not just the superficial stuff in front of the camera. She needs to do a lot of this shit off camera. She needs to really get fucking help, but she's not gonna. And I think that's what makes a lot of people who struggle with stuff like this the angriest. It clearly isn't just her being fat. And I know people want to run that, but there's a lot of us fat motherfuckers on here doing our thing. So when you get mad because somebody is critiquing this person who's for years played around in people's faces about her weight loss alleged journey, her alleged struggles, which we know she struggles, but she's never going to try to strive. And I want her to try to prove us wrong, but I know it's not going to happen because it does take effort. It does take wanting to change your life, and it takes a low that you hit so hard that you realize that you can't keep going like this. And I said it Saturday, and I meant it. I don't think there's a bottom low enough for Chantal to hit. For her to say, you know what? I gotta change this shit. I have got to open my eyes and realize that while this was financially lucrative, it isn't anymore. And my health problems are piling up. What is it gonna take, girl? What is it gonna take for you to just go, okay, I know I'm not going to gain fans for over the years for the shit that I did. But if I really put my effort into this and I make some actual traction, maybe, just maybe, I could prove to those who still support me, who still have my back, that I wasn't just using y'all for attention and ass pats. But we all know this is not the case. She really, for me, watching her, gives me the impression that because she didn't have a lot of nurturing, and this is just an observation and opinion. I can't say that as directly, because she likes to argue that she was the spoiled one. But I can see that because she did not get that nurturing, she wants to regress to where somebody has to care for her. Somebody has to love and hug her and tell her no matter what she does, it's okay. That there's no accountability for any bad, kind of like a literal toddler. When she was in Thailand, we got to see glimpses of what that person she calls her husband puts up with. The defiance, the not doing things like a grown 40-year-old would do. You shouldn't have to be told at 40, especially after a fucking global pandemic, to wash your hands. You should never be in a position where you have to tell an audience more than once that you had an accident. I don't understand this. So don't get me wrong. I am only a person that deals with therapy and psychiatry. I am not licensed. But when you watch her, you can see just how methodical she is to get to a point where she doesn't have to take care of herself at all. And I know a lot of people don't believe that there are people like that that exist, but you don't have to even look that far. TLC does a whole fucking series about it. They get bedbound, they turn their partners into caregivers. They will literally, some of them, one that I watched Shauna Steele cover, was literally like pooping themselves in the bed. They had the little wee-wee and poop pads that you use for pets on their motherfucking bed. And I know some people want to just mock because, oh my God, they're behemoths, they're this, they're that. But there is a serious psychological issue when you get to that point. Because you tune out any good in your life and only focus on the temporary dopamine hit from food. And Chantal is not a rarity. There are a lot of people who have either suffered this, are still suffering from it, or have died from it. And that is the fucking reality that I don't think she wants to hear from doctors. That's why she doesn't go. She doesn't want a doctor to look at her and tell her that you are going to die from this. But any doctor worth their grain of salt will tell you that so that you can fucking change. It is no joke with the comorbidities that you currently have stacked up against you. And you can't just say, I'm going to get a routine. My husband's going to make me a gym and think that's a fucking enough. You can't jump on a fucking couch and act like that's enough. You have to make a real effort. And you don't even have to exert yourself. You literally live in a building with a fucking pool. And no, swimming, we've clearly seen, because all the layers she decides to wear, is probably not a good idea. But water walking is still probably the best way to go. And I don't understand why it's such a fucking... You won't do it. It's like a barrier to your brain that this is something that could help my joints. It could slim me down, unless you eat the way you eat the last time you did the pull. So that's the thing. You can't burn off a shit ton of food like that. You would have to water walk for hours with the amount of binging you've done. Caloric reduction, though, it's not an overnight thing. Because once your brain starts telling you that you're denying yourself your pleasure, you're going to sneak eat. You're going to rage, and you're going to get your way. You have to work with somebody that can show you the gradual steps to take to where food is not your source of pleasure. Food is not your source of focus. But so many people want to come at me as, oh, you're just being mean to her. No, because she doesn't listen to people who are nice to her. And I've said that several times. You come at her with concern, you get blocked. You come at her trolling about her marriage, you get blocked. And if you come at her with diet advice, you get blocked. But you know what the fuck she watches, whether she says it's through other reaction channels? It's people like me who understand her fucking mindset telling her what she needs to fucking do. That is the real of all of this, y'all. Because at the end of the day, Chantal only respects those who don't like her. And I don't care what any of you say. She loves the people that can't stand her because she's always wanted to be on this side. Critiquing people, keying it up with people, and just talking mad shit. The problem with her is she is also so desperate to be liked that she'll go to anybody. Literally anybody, even if they get her channel in trouble. And that's on her. These people will smile right in her face while plotting to take her out completely. And I would feel sorry for her, but this is the shit she courted. This is the literal life she wanted. She crafted it. So now she's in a country that is too hot for her to really go outside and walk. Convenient. In a relationship where she pretends he controls her, but we all know who really holds the reins in that relationship. All for her to get to a point where he has to caregive for her. And I would feel sorry for him, but we're coming up in a few weeks on the anniversary of how he openly treated her while she was in Canada. For real. It is that's one of those things where you're not rooting for anybody in that story. You just hope that at the end it's as entertaining as you think it's going to be. When she puts herself into that position and he shows her his real character. Because nobody wants to do that. Even the people that love the people that get into that status get to a point where it's too much for them. Mentally, physically, and emotionally, a lot to have to take care of your grown spouse because they self-inflicted a huge ton of damage onto their bodies and became immobile. That is not fair to anybody. That is fucked up to do to anybody you claim to love or that loves you. And we are seeing in real time a level of selfishness that I hope is never repeated. Because that is crazy to me. If you love that man, you will do everything you can to keep your mobility. You will do everything you can to reduce the damage you did to yourself. But you're not going to do that. So anybody coming at me or any other reaction channel for pointing this shit out, y'all can have a hot cup of shut the fuck up at this point. Because all we're doing is holding a mirror to all of her antics. All we're doing is showing everybody that who cares what her personal shit is? Because I don't know and I don't care. I watch what she says on a fucking screen when she puts these videos out. And I see somebody who acts like she's pleading for help. And in the end, she is just trying to get views. So if dying for views is worth it to her, more power to her. But that is 30 minutes, y'all. Like I said, we have to head into the next town, mail off our ballots. It is going to be a good D&D Sunday. I will be back some point next week with another one of these. My schedule right now is 2 days a week for the Fitbangs, Saturday Bonnet Live, and then my Twitch cast re-uploads on Tuesdays and Fridays. Up till the election, I will probably have my special guest, and then we are going to launch our own podcast where we talk about just about everything geek culture to metaphysics. We are going to have so much fun. And I'm with the launch of Our Merry Band of Misfits and the second novel. I am going to be a busy bitch, so I'm sorry. To anybody who thinks I'm snubbing them, I'm not. It's called real life. And I know a lot of you have that, so you're not going to feel targeted by that. But if I'm not in somebody's chat and I don't say I have a problem with them, stop reading into it. Because some of us really got shit we got to get done. But you have a great Sunday. See y'all next week and have a good one.